Dave Neilson, Fantasy Sports Giant, coming back to you with my fantasy preview for Week 5 and who's going to the pay window. That's right, 5 guys who are on the verge of breaking out and will break out this week in fantasy football. First off, we're going to go with running back Wayne Gallman. Last week showed some signs that he was going to break out, over 40 yards rushing and a receiving touchdown. I like him this week against the San Diego Chargers. Paul Perkins still ailing. Doesn't look like he will play this weekend, so that should give Gallman a chance to actually do something for the Giants and might actually even establish himself as the lead running back for the Giants since Perkins hasn't been able to perform this season. So I like Wayne Gallman, who's going against the Chargers, who give up over 160 yards on the ground. Gallman should get it done. Then we're going to go with wide receiver Jermaine Kearse, going against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 23rd in the NFL against the pass. Kearse could see a couple touchdowns in this game. I think they're going to air it out a little bit, so I like Jermaine Kearse for the New York Jets. Then we're going to go with wide receiver Zay Jones. Jordan Matthews out the next couple weeks. Zay Jones is now the number 1 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. This rookie definitely, I thought, was already going to put up some big numbers. Hasn't yet. Maybe now that he's the number 1 target, could put up some big numbers. Tough matchup against Cincinnati, but somebody's got to catch the ball there, so I like Zay Jones this week. Then we're going to go with running back Alex Collins for the Baltimore Ravens, going against the Raiders. Look, last 2 weeks, Alex Collins has been the guy there for Baltimore. Had over 80-yard rushing in both games. He's the most explosive back out of the 3 there, out of Terrence West and Javarius Allen. So I like Alex Collins this week. I think he's going to shock the world, and I think he's going to put up some decent numbers against the Oakland Raiders. And then finally, we're going to go with wide receiver Deontay Thompson for the Chicago Bears. Look, I think this is a good matchup here against the Minnesota Vikings. I think Trubisky coming in, I think he's going to look for some long plays, air it down the field, and I think Thompson is going to be the guy who benefits. He's been the number 1 wide receiver targeted the last couple weeks. I think he and Trubisky are going to make some big plays this week against the Minnesota Vikings. This has been Dave Neilson, your Fantasy Sports Giant. You heard here Wayne Gallman, Jermaine Kearse, Zay Jones, Alex Collins, and Deontay Thompson. Get these guys in your lineup. Remember, Week 5, that's when buys start. If you need a spot start, I think these guys can perform for you this week. This has been Dave Neilson, your Fantasy Sports Giant.